Hello, I'm your girl, your diva Sasha, coming into you live for another episode of Night Talks with Sasha. So y'all heard me yesterday, and you're hearing me today. So you're getting me twice in 2 days. Very unusual, but I hope that you're enjoying it. So I hope that you had a great Saturday. I hope that it was a start of a wonderful weekend for you and that you enjoy the outside and spring has definitely sprung. So, but now I hope that you're somewhere safe and that you are relaxing and that you're listening to Night Talks with Sasha. So, like, I listened to this show. It was some technical errors that happened last Friday, and I went back and I listened to it, and I don't know if y'all heard it or not, but what I heard was not good. So we're redoing take two of Sasha in the hot seat. So of course tonight with me is my girl Riri and Deidre Gibbs from HPS Magazine. Now, I don't know if Riri is going to make it tonight. She's supposed to. Hopefully, she'll remember and call in. But if she doesn't, I understand because she has family in town and her nephew is in town, and he just graduated from basic training. Yeah, that's it. Basic training. He just graduated from basic training, and he's in town visiting with her older sister. So she may call in, and then again she may not. But it's okay. I think Deidre and I can handle this. So let's get started. Hello, Miss Gibbs. How are you?
Hello, I'm here.
How you doing?
I'm alive.
Oh, look, girl. Well, that's good.
Mm.
that's good. I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad you are alive. Yes. So we are gonna get started. I'm hoping that Riri will call in. I'm gonna try to send her a message and see. If not, I think you and I got this. What you think?
I think it's good. We good.
Yeah, I think
I still remember some of the questions she asked, so it'll be like she's here if she doesn't.
Okay. Okay, great. I'm glad you remember because I don't remember anything. But anyway, so let's get started. This show is basically about a life update. I am an open book tonight. If you have any questions, if you want to ask anything, the number is 515-605-9707. You can call in, ask a question. You can stay anonymous. I don't see who's next. You can stay anonymous if you want to. If you want to tell me your name, you can. But if I recognize your voice, I'm going to call you out. That's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I recognize the voice.
You will not be the first or the only.
No, absolutely not. So, basically, this show is just, it's a precursor to me attempting to do something different. I want to get into vlogging. And I know with vlogging, it's about your life. And with that, I have to be more willing to be more open. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I thought that this would be a great way. I'm in a safe space. I'm with people that I trust, And I
Correct.
thought that this would be a great way to kick
Put the
that
first
off.
toes in the water. To put your toe, get your toes wet.
Yeah.
Which is true.
So that's
Because once you
what
start
this
feeling
is
more
about.
comfortable, the more you'll be feeling, okay, I can open up a little bit more. Because it's a process.
It definitely is. It definitely is a process. And so that's what this is going to be about. Because starting in the summer, I am going to be doing some press. I have press passes in order to get some behind the scenes info, photographs, talk to some people, and I can't just be putting a microphone or in other people's face. I have to be willing to come off from behind the screen or the mic and show myself.
You gotta show them that they're not alone.
Yeah.
You're willing to do tit for tat.
Exactly. So this is just a kickoff for that. Me trying to get comfortable. And I thought the best way to do that
by releasing control and letting me start to open the gates of communication.
Yes. Exactly.
So are you ready?
And yes. And so if you've been following me on social media, on Facebook, then you know that I give these life and cancer updates about my cancer journey and just my life in general. And so this is a live version of that. But I'm not in control. I'm not just, I have no control. No,
especially
I have no control. So I can't pick and choose what I want to talk about. Whatever I'm asked, I promised that I would openly answer those questions and be transparent. So, but I do have a safe word.
Let's see it.
I have a safe word.
What's the safe word?
Pineapples.
Girl, please. Anyway, moving on. Now, we're going to get started now because I normally sounds like I'm trying to cut you off because I am, because it's time to relinquish. And we're going to get started. So we're going to go back to how it was in the first taping. And we're going to go back into marriage. Remind everyone again who you were married to and how you met.
Okay, I was married to, most people on the internet knew him as Matt Rice. I knew him as Michael Morgan. Max Rice was an internet radio personality. He had his toe in a little bit of everything, but he had a show called JGE BBW Radio, and it was what it said. It was about BBWs in all aspects: dancers, models, if they were in porn. He was the neighborhood porn pusher. That's what I call it. There are women. He dealt with women. He gave them a voice and a platform and a safe space to talk about what was going on and promote themselves. I guess some would say sex workers, but they were models. They were dancers and all of that. And some people, some ladies, yeah, they did. Some did movies as well. So that's how. That's what he did, and he asked me to be. He asked me to fill in. He wanted a woman on the show. He needed a woman from a woman's perspective, and that's where I came in. And this was in 2012. We met on Facebook. Actually, it wasn't back then. It wasn't Facebook dating or anything like that. We were just in a group, a Facebook group for BBWs, and he was in there, and he inboxed me, and so that's how we met, and that was in the end of 2011, the beginning of 2012, and we just became friends.
Okay, now
it was a working relationship.
Who proposed to who? We'll get back to all the other things, but we're gonna hit little segments. Who proposed to who again?
I proposed to him. Yes,
and
I proposed to him.
Everybody's memory of how you proposed to him.
I proposed to him by saying it was in 2016, and I was having to have this surgical procedure. We were trying to find out if I had cancer then on my pancreas. I had a cyst. And so I was trying to get I was being put to sleep, and I wanted to get all my stuff in order. And so I said, Mike, we need to get married. And he was like, huh? Where'd that come from? I know, we're going to get married. I said, no. I'm not talking about in the future. You know, we've been together this, that. I'm talking about we need to get married soon. Because if I'm sick, then I need you to be my husband because I need you to speak for me. And the reason I felt that way was I'm an only child. My mother had already passed away in 2008, and by 2016, my father had vascular dementia. And I didn't have a lot of family. I mean, I have family, but I wasn't close to a lot of people that I would say, hey, I want you to make decisions for me if I don't wake up off of this operating table. And so that's what happened. And so we got married.
Okay. Now, can you let everybody know how he helped you when you got the cancer diagnosis?
He was very supportive. And my cancer diagnosis did not come until 2021. He was very supportive. He was there. I was in the hospital from somewhere like the middle of October to the 1st of November. And he stayed there every day, every night. He was right there with me. I didn't have to ask for anything. I didn't have to ask for support. I didn't have to ask. He was just there. And even in that time of me being in the hospital, there was a moment where he had to be my voice then because I was really, really sick at that time. And they had me NPO, and by NPO that means nothing by mouth. I had eaten all day because I was supposed to have had this procedure and so I hadn't had anything to eat after midnight the night before. And by 12 o'clock the following day, the procedure hadn't happened. And by this time, I am not diabetic, but I am pre-diabetic, and my blood sugar began to fall, and I needed to eat. And he got really, really upset, and the nurse, the nurse came in and said, well, you can't give her anything to eat. You know, she can't have anything. The doctor wants her NPO. And he was like, look, it's 12 o'clock. It's almost 1. They are not doing any more surgeries today. They are not. I know. I've been in the hospital before. I know how the hospital works. After lunch, they're not doing any more surgeries. So, well, I'm just telling you. And he's like, you go get the damn doctor. And so he got the doctor. And he was very upset. So he was very there. Even in the time that I had to go to Emory Hospital, and I was going back for testing and seeing the oncologist, even when I had to have my porter port, put a port, whatever they call that thing, in your chest to get your chemo. I had to have that surgically put in. And he was there. He was there the first time I had chemo. Yeah,
I said, so his love language was protection.
He had a lot of learning being with Michael. His love language. He had more than one.
Oh, there's always more than one.
Yeah, he had more than one, and he had a few, and he knew what I needed, and without me having to necessarily say, because I think the fact that we courted each other for a year and a half, almost 2 years before we ever really met, because he was in Connecticut and I was here in Georgia.
Okay, would it be safe to say that the way that he courted you then helped guide you with how you date today? Because he set the bar up kind of high.
Yes and no.
Okay.
There was only one Michael. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I definitely have learned that I don't have to settle, and I don't have to accept less than from any gentleman that I'm talking to or that's wanting to talk to me. And so yes, he did do that. But then at the same time, I realized that I can't compare him and someone else, because he was him and they are who they are. But it definitely
comparing both up, versus each other. It's just that was a way of showing love. So the respect, just those natural categories, what we say that we want in a relationship. He showed that they are capable.
Yes,
you don't have to settle for less. Not that, okay, you got to do better than how he did. He just showed that it is reachable, and it's
attainable,
acceptable. So,
absolutely.
With that being said, we also discussed about your dating life, that there was an A and a B category of daters. And we kind of reached the conclusion that one of them was just going to be a homeboy and nothing else. So the question for tonight is, what's the update on the other?
Honestly, I can't say if one is a homeboy and one is, I don't know, because fortunately or unfortunately, I like them both for different reasons.
Yeah, that's the perk of dating. You get to make a decision. But from what the past conversation was, you narrowed down to when you can close your eyes and there were certain scenarios that we placed in your head, like romantic situations. You didn't really see that with one particular of the suitors, but you could with the other.
Yes, and that's true. But in a week's time,
yes, do tell what changed.
Well, what changed is the fact. I think what has changed is how one of the gentlemen and I, how we communicate. We don't always
Mhm.
see eye to eye, and um, but it's the way that we communicate with each other, and it's how
Okay.
we communicate with each other that has made me think like, oh, okay, I like that. The other guy who is younger than me,
Ah, okay.
um, yeah, one of them is younger than me.
Okay.
He, I don't know, he's younger than me. That's all I
So we
can.
stuck on that.
That's all
So
I
we're
can
stuck
say.
on age. Is the fact that he's younger, is that a positive or a negative for you?
Right now, it's a question mark.
Hmm. Oh, I can relate to that. So I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
it's a
clown you for
question mark
that
because yeah, there are things about him that are very mature for his age.
one. Hmm.
Um,
But you
and,
see that
and
youthfulness.
yeah,
We'll call it
yeah,
just, we'll just say youthfulness.
yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And so
Coming to
that has
the
kind of
question here.
shown up. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it has kind of shown up a little bit more as of late.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing bad. I mean, because it wasn't that I didn't know that he was younger than me. I did know that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But you didn't
but at the time,
just starting to see how it's playing, how it's coming out. That's all it is.
yes, yes,
Which
absolutely.
is that's fine. That's like I said, that's part of dating. You find out if you're completely compatible for long term is by dating.
True.
And has any of
Absolutely.
the either of these two, have they made any suggestions of dating to be exclusive, or are they both still open to where y'all both are seeing other people?
Um, they have, in their own way, one has been very upfront and said, yeah, like, I want you for mine. Like yeah.
He
And
wants to
the
be exclusive.
other, yes, he wants to be exclusive. The other
Okay. That's
gentleman,
fair.
I think he does, but at the same time, he respects where I'm coming from, and and because of where I'm coming from, and by that I mean the fact that I'm a widow. It's only been
Right.
2 years. Um, things
He's
are
giving you
still
your space.
very yes, things are still very fresh, and he is he's interested. He likes me, but at the same time, he respects the fact, and I respect the fact that he doesn't want to be so like he's being dragged along, and I respect that. So right now, we are just friends.
Okay. That's good. Is there anybody else coming into the playground?
No,
Shoot.
no, no. I think that's enough.
I didn't say everybody got to go home and play. I just said anybody else coming up to bat.
Mm-mm.
But okay, since we have these
No,
two and we have you, does either of these men have children?
no. Oh yes, one does. Yes,
Okay.
yes. I'm sorry. Yes, one does.
And from what you've experienced with him, how is he as a father so far, from what you can see?
He's really good. I mean, because well, for one thing, his children. are much older. He has one
Mhm.
younger child, but he's good from
See
what
for
I've
so
been able
far.
to gather. Yeah,
Mhm.
he's a good
Okay.
dad. Um, I
Hello.
think that he is with his older kids. I think the relationship is a little bit more. I'm not gonna say friendship, but it's more of a they can have those conversations
Oh, well, that's
because they
good.
are of age. Yeah,
Yeah.
they can talk.
They can be
They
more.
can
It
talk
can be more
freer.
personal.
Mhm.
That's good. That's a good thing. Because everybody can't talk to their parents about any and everything. So if
True.
he got that into that system that it's okay to come to him, but that's an
Mhm.
extremely good thing. I
And he
can't be
has.
tough.
It seems as if he has a really good communication with the mother of his children as well. Um, they talk back and forth, and I'm not one. I try not to be one of those women that's like, oh, you can't talk to your baby mama, blah 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 blah. I'm not like that. If you show me that you're
It's
respecting,
respectable. Yeah.
it's respectable, then I don't have a problem with that. And so that's what it is. And from what I can discern, it seems like they have a good
It's a good relationship.
co-parenting or
Yeah.
relationship between themselves.
Well, that's even better.
Yeah, he's very into his peace. He's very into he's holistic. He's very into peace. He's not into
Zen.
confusion.
He's
He's
more of a
changed
Zen
his
guy.
life. Huh?
Would you say he's more of a Zen type of guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. That means they don't let a lot of things stress them. So that's a
Exactly. He
good
does
thing.
not. Yeah, he doesn't. He does not let a lot of stuff. He's, as a matter of fact, he is trying to help me not let a lot of stuff stress me. Like you see deep in
Yeah.
your feelings. You gotta come out your feelings. You and your feelings. You and your
Yeah.
emotions. And I'm like, I'm a
He's getting
woman.
brownie
That's my
points from this
prerogative.
man. FYI. He's getting brownie points
Uh,
from Texas. I said he's getting brownie points from Texas.
yeah, someone else said that too. Someone else was like, "Oh, I like him, yeah, 'cause and he's straight to the point. He don't sugarcoat shit. Um, which I need. I don't need someone that's going to sugarcoat shit and just to come straight from the hip. And so, and I
Okay.
will say this:
Mhm.
there are some things about him, and I've told him this. There are some things about him that remind me of Michael.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, with that being said, that I'm not the only one that's giving him brownie points. How can I say this without getting pineappled? Let's see. Because we had a conversation some tapes ago where you openly stated
N-
you were ready for
No,
service.
he has not scratched that itch. No, he
No,
has
no,
not. We have
no, that
not.
wasn't. But thank you for answering that, but that wasn't the question. But
Oh,
thanks for
okay.
putting it out there. Like as I was saying, you
Oh.
openly put out there that you were open for service. It was a reopening, grand opening. Stuff was not being put on sale, but it was going to be a brand reopening. How does this particular person compare to the other how when they come to check the merchandise, who's more direct to the price and who's more direct towards the product? If that, you know what I mean.
They both are.
Which way?
They're both very. They have both. One has let me know, like, yeah, but then the other gentleman is like, I'm not gonna. You're gonna have to come to me. You're gonna have to tell me. I'm not gonna try to do anything. I'm not, and I respect that, and I appreciate that. Like, when you're ready, you let me know.
But even when we know that you're ready to a degree, when you're around each other, and this goes for either guy, who shows that they are using their full control to behave? Because
me and the other one have not met yet. It's going to happen. It's going to happen next Friday.
Okay. So there's a part 2 for that question. Cool. Mental note. Okay.
But
so when it comes to the other guy,
we met once.
Mhm.
And it was just, just me. Like, it wasn't, you know what I'm saying?
It was just
control wise. Yeah, it wasn't anything like, no. It was just a meet.
Okay.
I mean, I had a nice time, but it was just a meet. That was it.
Okay. And since that meeting, even that when y'all communicate, does he give off the impression that y'all are getting closer to the point to where when y'all do meet again, that the physical attraction would be more intense to where, okay, you can see the okay, I gotta behave.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you do see that.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you see that was the one that you haven't met yet? Because that emotional connection.
Mm-mm. I don't think. I mean, if we got to Friday, we'll definitely.
You'll know more.
But I do believe that he has. He said that, I'm waiting for you. If you make a move, then okay. But as far as me making a move and do it, you don't have that to worry about. And I believe that.
Okay. Time will tell.
Yeah,
this is reality.
it will.
Time will tell.
Yeah, it will.
What is one of the stressors for you when it comes to dating in this era? Mhm.
I have quite a few, actually.
I figured you would. But let's name off your top 3. Just your top 3.
Okay. Letting people into my space. I'm not. It's been very hard opening up my. And when I say my space, it's everything. It's me. It's the spaces
mentally
around me.
Yeah, it's everything.
That's the top one. The second one would be actually engaging in sex with someone else after being with someone for almost 10 years.
Okay.
That stresses me. And just knowing what people's I have not been able to my radar is not fully tuned to know what people's intentions are. I
Well, who's
can't
being
gauge. I
authentic?
haven't. Yeah,
Who's being authentic?
yeah. I haven't. It's taking me a while to because you know, and but I got into a
No.
situation. Yeah, I got into a situation where last year that it wasn't good for me.
But I hate to tell you that no matter how long you've been in the dating scene or in a relationship, there's always going to be that. That's not going to,
Yeah.
no matter how good you get at tuning in and be able to catch, there's always going to be someone that's a couple of feet ahead of you.
Yeah.
So you just got to learn how to trust your instincts.
Yes, that's what I was just about to say. I was not. It's more of me tuning into myself than it is necessarily trying to gauge someone else. It's more about trusting my intuition, my instinct.
Exactly.
Hearing my radar, and I can say that depression, loneliness, desperation, a little despair made me very successful.
It makes you second guess because you want to make sure whatever your reason is the right reason.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people, men and women, go through that.
Mhm.
When you've been hurt, even if it's cheating or death, that's a wound. Period. So when you got to go through that grieving process, having to move on from it, it's the process, and you have to learn to start over, and that means trusting a different era, a time, a different people, because it's not the same anymore.
No, it's not. And
that
you have to be willing to make some mistakes, but not so far that it's gonna cost you your life or your safety.
True.
But
you also have to realize that sometimes making the mistakes is the lesson. So that way you can understand what not to do. You have to experience it.
Yeah.
And if you've never experienced it, it's going to be wrong no matter what. But you have to experience it to know this is why you should not do this. This is why you don't do that. This is why when someone says this, you do this. So a lot of times people have to remember those negative experiences. They try to stay away from them. You got to go through them. Just like with everything else in life, you got to go through them to get to the better part. You got to go through the bad to get to the good.
That's it. Absolutely.
Now, let's win. Trying to figure out how I can say this stuff without getting pineappled.
Insane.
Because I'm still stuck on that boasting of I'm ready for it. So I'm thinking, since you're not ready mentally for the real thing, have you started manually?
Yes.
Okay. Which version?
What you mean, which version? Now you got me
Well,
lost.
huh?
Now you got me lost.
Oh, I'm talking about the sex shop. So I'm saying if you're going manually, which way? Because you're not ready for the real thing. You're going the other way. So which particular items are
Oh,
you using? There's more than one.
what am I using? Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Because there is a variety.
Yeah.
There's plastic,
Okay.
there's
Gotcha.
hard metals, there's electronics, there's so much to choose from. What's your pleasure right now?
A rose. Roosevelt
Impressive.
is his name.
Okay. Royalty. Gotcha.
Roosevelt is his name. Yeah, it was a
Impulse purchase.
it was it was one of them purchases where it's like I should get that, and then the next thing I know, credit card came out.
It's a stepping stone. It's a stepping stone. Getting your feet wet in the water. You're not ready to go in halfway. You just putting your feet in. So you're getting used to the water. You ain't been swimming in years. So you get used to it.
And also I had a thing called I had this experience that happened called Widow's Fire.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And
for those that don't know what that is,
Widow's Fire usually occurs with people who have lost their spouses or partners and they're still relatively young at age, 30s, in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, and they're still interested in wanting to have sex. And so Widow's Fire is where you just get very, very horny.
Yeah.
And you're just wanting to...
You just want the connection.
Every time you... Yeah, and that's basically what it is. And the only way that some people can truly, wind up getting that connection is they'll get it through sex when that's not what really you want. And I believe that's what happened to me last year.
You make that announcement?
Well, I didn't make an announcement then. I was already talking to this guy last year.
No. When I say make the announcement, it was just saying about you hormonal ready. You were having a baby. That one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I was looking for that intimacy. Because I miss the intimacy. When you go to bed, and you don't go to bed until your partner goes to bed because you want to snuggle up under them, and now they're not here, and you just a lot of times you don't go to bed because you don't want to be in the bed.
You just helps me understand someone to where I'm like, okay, stop, take him off my hit list.
It's a very grief is.
It's a tricky and it's different for everybody.
It's different for everyone, but the general consensus is that grief is the love that you have and you have nowhere for it to go.
Yeah.
And your life is topsy-turvy because you have for a year and a half I convinced myself that my husband was traveling.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I
he would
remember
be back.
saying that.
Yeah, he would be back. And it wasn't until the end of last year, maybe the first of this year, that I just really let go of that fantasy and accepted that he wasn't coming back. And I got so angry.
Yeah.
I got very angry.
Yep, that grief is a tricky little thing. It comes out in different formations.
And so,
one question that we had that we did back then, not to cut you off, was dating while dealing with cancer. How do you think, if it has it helped you as you start processing of dating, or does it just hinder?
For me, it helps me.
Okay.
It helps me because I can be transparent.
So you just that's the icebreaker. Hey, I have stage 4 cancer. What about you?
No, I don't. It's not like that, but
that's one way to do it.
That's one way. It helps me to, when I say it makes me transparent, I can't hide it. Like for myself, accepting it and being open and vocal about it. And I know, like, sometimes I feel like people think all she does is talk about this cancer, but I don't want people to think that. But the more I talk about it, the real it becomes for me. Because for me, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
There are still times I don't
believe that you're dealing with cancer. I get it.
Yeah, like, I got cancer. Me?
But but one thing I like about how you're doing it is the fact that, yes, cancer is a part of my life. It's not the only thing in my life. Because you're not just sitting around waiting for it to do whatever. You're going on with your life. You're doing the podcast. You're doing you're about to do other things. You're studying. You're dating. Putting your toes in the dating. You're going on doing your living. So especially when people hear stage 4, they just think you're a death's door. But you show that that's not always the case.
Yeah, exactly. And I try to, and when I tell people, I try to deliver it that way, like, cause.
But it shows the guy, like it shows for me, from when I don't know how long it's been since I've known you, where learning more about it, it just shows the strength and the confidence of the type of woman you are, because you're not letting something that's becoming that's a part of your life take over. So it shows your strength.
Thank you.
It shows your character. It shows your ability. Even when you're having a bad day, you still know how to get things done. So when they say that boss bitch and all other stuff, there's a Sasha involved in there.
Yeah, it is.
Sasha don't care. She gonna get what she want done. And that includes men.
Yeah, she does. She does.
And that's something to be proud of.
It is, and it helps me. It it helps me to, I don't want to say survive, but it helps me to
But to a
thrive
certain
in
degree, it is. It does help
it
you
is.
survive mentally because
Mm-hmm.
it's taxing. It's
Very.
draining.
Very.
So, yeah, it is to a certain degree survival. It helps you when you're in survival mode because you're doing everything to when you have to put in more of a fight. You have more things on the other side to look back and like, this is what I'm fighting for.
Exactly.
It's not what you used to have. It's what you're creating while you're dealing.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Thank you for expressing that. You put that perfectly. I could not have done that. Thank you. I did not know how to put it as eloquently, and you did. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Now, if I can just get that on a T-shirt.
Exactly, or a hat.
No, that's too long for a hat. No, we too long-winded for a hat. Shirts, maybe, because we can go on the front and back.
Or bag.
Ooh, that too. I gotta remember that.
Yeah, a tote bag. Put all my stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, that's exactly what it is. And sometimes,
I got a question, not to cut you off again. How does having the cancer affect you in friendships? Did you have to go through those times where people distanced themselves off from you because they didn't know how to handle it? Or they were just everybody was just there? You still are?
No. I lost a friendship because of my cancer. She she had a friend that had already passed from cancer before, and so I guess the whole
she didn't want to go through round two.
I don't know if she didn't want to go round two, or it was just the fact that she had her own shit she was going through, and she just didn't know how to handle it. I guess I don't know. I can't answer that because we never had the discussion.
They just
Why
distanced themselves, basically.
No, well, she distanced herself, and then me, in my feelings, I went off. I said what the fuck I felt.
Well, it kind of sounds warranted for your friend.
You know, it was just a lot of shit at that time that I was going through. My husband had died. I was in this house by myself, going to chemo, driving myself to chemo.
Oh, the fun.
Driving myself back home from chemo. And I needed someone to talk to. I just wanted to talk. I didn't want to talk about cancer. I just wanted to talk about bullshit. And I called her. She wouldn't answer the phone. And then she would send me these little messages through Messenger. I'm praying for you. And the last time she did it, I just went flat the fuck off. I was just done.
Don't
keep telling me you're praying for me. Yeah. You can't even talk to me, but you telling me you're praying for me? And so that was it. And we talked one other time, and then she told me she was taking a step back. And I was like, huh? She said, I'm taking a step back right now from this. And I thought, well, I didn't think, and I said, you don't have to take a step back. It's cool. I won't bother
But she
you
had already,
again.
from what you're saying, she had already took that step back. She just had to say it to your face.
Yeah.
Because what's getting you so hot is, if you're my friend, why everything you send in a text, you can't call and let me hear it from your face. So when she finally has the time, she just said what she was doing. It's like, don't send no text, say it to my face. So you going off is warranted.
I try to, not really.
It was warranted. Even though, because even if it meant at this time, y'all do need your spaces away from each other. But if that was a true friend, that person would have said what they needed to say to your face. Let them know, for whatever, even if they didn't want to go all into the details, that they had just finished losing someone. They don't know about seeing another person go through it again, because everybody can't handle that. That's fine, it's respect, but be respectful about it, to say it to that person who you say is your friend. Because otherwise, you've just been using.
A lot of people say that I am hard to talk to.
Well, yeah, because you're blunt. You're going to put your feelings right there. So people are afraid that when they say something, they're thinking you're going to judge what they're saying, and that's their fear. Mm-hmm. When reality is, once they say whatever it is that they're so fearful of saying, it's like, for you, it ain't going to be about squat. It's like, that's fine. Are you feel better now? Mm-hmm. Relax. Chill. Mm-hmm. It's all good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, yeah.
Oh, trust me, I know that story. But people that's why I say, if they're a true friend, they can get past that fear and still tell you. Even if they might not want to hear what you have to say, because they're fearful of it's going to be judgmental or whatever. If they're your true friends, they're going to tell you. Good or bad, that's what friends do. That's the age end all of end all. If you are true friends, just like a marriage, sickness and in health, you're gonna be there. And if you can't be there, you be a grown enough person to say it. And if you can't tell it to that person, you're showing that they were never your friend. But when it was acceptable for you.
Well, like I said, people say that I'm hard to talk to, and I've even had friends say that.
That's gaslighting.
If I don't, what did she say?
That's true gaslighting.
She said that I accept things better from men than I do from women.
Yeah, that's gaslighting. That's that's people turning things around to where whatever the insecurity and that issues that they have, it's putting on you. You're the reason. If you've been friends for years, that
no,
you being blunt. No, even for a certain amount of time, if you've gotten to know the person, no matter if you took the time to really know the person, you would know. Okay, at least have a better idea of what's going to set this person off or whatever. Or it's like they'll look at you sideways, but still, but either way it goes, you know that person is not going to act a certain way that you're so fearful of.
Yeah, and I think also a lot of times I put on a very good front for people.
Yeah, because you don't want to see people, when people do something negative, it's not, people take it as we're very prideful. And it's not pride. It's the aspect of, I'm not going to allow someone's negativity to hurt me. So if I show that something you did or said has hurt me, that's giving you part of me. I'm not giving you that. So if to others, it might look like, oh, they're just being prideful. They don't want to let it know. No, it's not the people being prideful. It's like you threw something against my wall and it didn't break. That's all it is. Your stone did not break my glass. And I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
But
thank you. Because thank you. Because I'm not a hard person to deal with. I'm really not. I'm very compassionate.
One thing from when we first started talking, we had a lot of similarities and a lot of the BS. And that's why I said, like when you're dealing with homeboy situation, I was like, I already know. That's why I'm like, no, it's not that that you're prideful, that you're not going to show, oh, this person did this and they tried to hurt me. No, it's not pride. I'm not going to let somebody's negativity or negative actions affect me to the point to where they're going to see it. If I got to deal with something that someone has done to me, I'll deal with it, but you're not going to see it because I'm not going to give you that privilege. That's all that is. Yep. It's not pride. It's not. It's just the fact of where if you wounded me, you won't see me die. Trust me. I'm gonna believe someone where you can't see me. Yeah. But I will be fixed, and I will. When you think I will be gone, I'll be standing right there waiting for you to come back.
It's a way of protecting yourself.
Yeah, it's protecting yourself. But people who they're not used to that. A lot of people are not used to people with that mentality. They're used to, like, when somebody does something towards them, they talk about it. They let those emotions show. They do all those things. That's become the norm. So when you come across somebody who don't show it, I'm like, what the hell? It's like, oh, she's judging. She's protecting herself because I'm like, okay, do better. It's like mental note. Just remember to check that area. It might be bruised, but no, you're not gonna see no spot.
Hold on, I think we have a caller that has a question.
Okay.
Hello, caller. Do you have a question, caller?
Hello?
I guess not. They're just listening. Okay. Listening.
You know who I was hoping it would be?
You hoped it would be who?
I said, you know who I was hoping it was going to be. I'm like, if he's got...
I don't want him. I don't want him to call no more. Let Joe stay where Joe at.
Oh, Joe's a
Don't
friend.
talk Joe up. Oh, my God.
Joe's a friend.
Joe is a man.
Like Joe's getting himself killed with the topics that we're talking about and come with that crap that he normally comes with. He will get slaughtered. And I'm not even talking about me. You will have so many more people calling in to let's, with an option of, can we slaughter Joe Day? Can we have a slaughter Joe Day? And I think
I think the night that he called in and Warrior was on there and he heard that we were talking about something.
Yeah, and he wanted to ring in with Warrior, but I'm like, Warrior wasn't catching on. I'm like, no, this is not a positive person.
Not at all.
You about to see every woman on this podcast go off.
Exactly. Dweeb.
Okay, let's see. Going back. Okay. Getting off of that one. What another topic? So we dealt with the cancer, we dealt with the husband, we dealt with the dating, we dealt with the new stuff. what is something that you have begun to do now in your life that if you think back to like 5 years ago, you'd be like, I didn't see this part coming?
Vlogging.
Okay.
Wanting to vlog. Honestly, there's a lot of me that I see that I didn't see 5 years ago. But the biggest thing that I can say is the fact that I am not hiding anymore.
Okay.
And by that I mean,
yeah, I was going to say,
I used to wear a mask.
What type of hiding are you talking about?
Just hiding me, who I am, not being my genuine and authentic self, putting on a mask and a little some imposter syndrome.
Okay.
So I don't do that now. Now I'm very I try to be very upfront, more so than I used to be.
Would you say you're more blunt than you used to be?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. I do. Yeah. To a certain degree, yes, I am. I used to.
What about more direct?
I am more direct. Because I have to, and I have to take care of me, not just physically, but mentally as well. And I feel like, as I've told some other people that especially my therapist, I told her that I feel like the cancer that I have developed was emotional. Some of it was emotional.
Definitely. I think anybody that's diagnosed emotional will be part of the patient.
Excuse me. Almost sneezed. Hold on. Oh, shit. It went away. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. How do have you gotten to the mindset to where you're able to celebrate achievements to where, and that includes even with cancer?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
What have you done so far?
Haven't done a lot, but last year for my 46th birthday, I wanted to dress up and I wanted to look pretty and I wanted to go to an expensive restaurant, and that's what I did.
Okay.
For my birthday, I did that. Haven't done a lot per se. I feel like some of my wins have been the growth that I've seen. I've celebrated and I've been celebrated. Riri is one of the main people that really has helped me to see and celebrate the fact that I have grown as a person. And so those little wins, those little things, that a lot of people don't see, she's seen those, and she's helped me to celebrate and see and say, hey, look, a couple of years ago, you would have never done that. You would have never said that. You would have never did that for yourself. So that's good. I'm proud of you.
So Ree is that right. I call Ree that right-hander. It's like whatever you got going on, you can always look to your right, and that you have that person. So Ree is pretty much Riri is that person for you.
Yes. She has been there the whole journey. She's been, through everything.
Okay.
When I first was diagnosed, she was the first person I called.
Okay.
Yeah, she's my bestie. She's my sis.
Yes, that sidekick is a doozy. It's very hard to replace them.
Yeah, very much so. And I take very special care of that friendship and that relationship. I'm very protective of it.
No, trust and understand.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about fashion. How has your fashion changed since your mindset has changed?
Can I be honest?
Duh.
I never really thought I was pretty until I had no hair.
Why is that?
I don't know. I never saw my beauty. I never saw myself as pretty until I had cancer. I never saw myself as attractive like that.
See, I'm reversed. It's like I loved my hair. So when my hair started falling out, I was like being treated like I was a guy. I'm like, oh no, this ain't working. So no.
Well, now the falling out of my hair, the coming out of my hair, that traumatized me.
Yeah.
But I had to find a new identity. And in finding my new identity, I hid behind a lot of stuff, Deidre. I really did. I hid behind a lot of stuff.
Usually,
and it was
I know a lot of people, females and males, that hide. I'm like, it's more relatable than people would think. But yeah, I believe.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, a lot of the things that I hid behind, they were stripped away. My hair, I hid behind my hair. I would never go out anywhere unless my hair was coiffed to the gods. Like it had to be done. It had to be. And then I didn't have any hair. And I had to, all my hair came out after one round of chemo.
Okay.
And it came out, I was by myself. Michael was in the hospital fighting for his life. And I went to wash my hair.
Breathe.
Came out in my head.
Yeah. It's a shocker.
I was devastated.
I have to deal with on that deep of a level, but because at first I used to have just one part of my hair. That's why I was like, I did like the old ball guy, just do the scoop. Just we don't have that little side, that little part. But then there's one time I'm doing my hair, and as soon as I rubbed my hair behind my ear, because that's where I always felt comfortable. As long as I had hair to pull behind my ear, I was golden.
Mm-hmm.
I did that little swoop, and all of the hair was in my hand. So I understand that shock value.
Mm-hmm.
Not the whole head, but I understand that shock value.
It was my whole, like, I washed it, and you know how you have to detangle your hair when you're natural, and my hair had tangled up so bad, and I was like, why is my hair tangled so bad? And so I'm using my detangle brush to detangle my hair, and just big clumps of my hair was just coming out, and by the time I got done, I didn't have any.
So when that happened, when did you start seeing the beauty in you?
It was a couple of months later. I ordered the wraps that you see in my pictures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I ordered those, and and I had just a little bit. I had just like a little patch of hair that was still. I was just holding on to it. I don't know why. I was just holding on to it, and I got Michael's clippers, and I shaved it off. I shaved off all of my hair and the rest of it. And by that time, my head wrap had come in the mail, and I put one on, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I thought, I look cute. Oh my God. I didn't have any eyebrows. I didn't have any eyelashes. Chemo had taken all of that.
Yeah.
And I showed Riri. I said, look, my hair wrap came. And she said, let me see. And she was on the phone with me when I shaved my head. Because I couldn't do that by myself. Yeah. And I didn't want to do it by myself. And so I went out one day, and it was springtime, and I got out the house, and I took myself to lunch, and after therapy, I took myself to lunch. And so I was sitting in the car, and I put on some lipstick, and I was like, because I hadn't worn lipstick in forever since COVID, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I was like, I'm going to take a picture. And I took these pictures of myself.
Yay.
And then I took a picture of my head. I took my head wrap off, and I took my glasses off, and I took a picture of myself with a bald head and no glasses. I felt pretty.
Good. So now with some of that coming back, you see the hair is an accessory.
Yep.
It's not the main thing.
Yep.
You're the main character, not the hair.
And I had to learn that because, like I said, I hid behind a lot of things. Like, I couldn't go out anywhere without making sure, because I was a fat girl, and
Oh,
I couldn't
that's
go out
that's
anywhere.
another Saturday night.
Yeah, you can't just go out in a pair of shorts or a pair of sweatpants. You gotta put it together. And so
No. I went out
I
there with the
stopped.
shorts and whatever. And let me tell you, when I stepped out where I was dressed up and had makeup on, I still to this day
Mhm.
remember people get stuck at the front door because they see me at a booth and they're like, "What the hoodoo?"
Yep.
And then come standing
And I
next to you
stopped.
looking at you like, "Really? We had to go through.
Mhm.
We know you phone. How long? Now you do it?"
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Yeah. Today I
Yeah.
wasn't tired."
Yep. That's what happened.
So
And
that's a part. So there is, you can say that there was some positivity through cancer.
there's been a lot of positive
I
moments.
know, but a lot of people don't ever speak on it
No, they don't. They
because
don't.
it's cancer. But
Mhm.
especially when it comes to emotions and especially to the heart for females, when it's something that's
Mhm.
that close and dear, yeah, it's
Mhm.
like a kept secret that families want to keep on the down low. And when
Yep, they do.
it's just reality.
It is. Um, I even had the opportunity to get a wig for free. Like they were gonna
Yeah, I've heard of organizations that do
custom.
that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they were gonna do a customized wig for me, and I said no, I don't want it.
No, you're good.
Yep, that's what I said. I'm good, and I've had the ability to change how I dress, and whenever I go to chemo, I
Mhm.
dress up and I put on. Yeah, I dress up. I put on my earrings and my head wrap and my bangles and my bracelets and a little dab of perfume and
mhm.
some lip gloss or some lipstick sometimes. And I'm
Uh-huh.
sitting there and people look at me in the hospital. I come in and they're like, oh. And the nurses used to be like, because I would have to be at the hospital for doing my chemo for 8 hours
Hours.
because they were,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I had allergic reactions to my chemo, and so I had to do mine in a hospital setting in case, because
Yeah.
my heart, my heart, my blood pressure dropped, my heart rate dropped, and I almost crashed one time, and so
Mm.
um, so I had to be there all day, and I wouldn't leave until I get there like at 8:30 in the morning, and I wouldn't leave till about 5:30 in the evening with the
Yeah. You
nurses,
spend your whole.
and so
Yeah. I was gonna say that was your work. That was your work life.
yep, and so I dressed up every day. I went in there. I had on something different. I had on something cute, and I couldn't sit up in the chairs. I had to sit in the bed. I did that for a year. I had to be in the bed to get my chemo because if my heart rate dropped or if I crashed, they already had me in the bed and they could just drop it and do
Yeah.
whatever they had to do. Mm-hmm. Yep, it's been hard, but I'm here.
Well, yes, you are.
I'm here. I'm here,
Stronger
thriving.
than what people would think you would be. Think that's only.
Yep, stronger than what I thought I was. I didn't. I
Well, of course,
I didn't
we
think.
never know how strong we are until afterwards, and then sometime after, and we look back and like, oh well, damn. Okay,
Mhm.
I, I,
Mhm.
I, I pat yourself on the back. Yes, I survived that. So I'm like, Okay, I can deal with this crap. I dealt with that.
And what trips people out now is like my therapist. I use a power wheelchair. I'm not ashamed. I need it because now I have bone cancer and my bones hurt.
It takes a toll.
Yep. And so I now load my power chair on my car by myself.
Oh, good Lord. I know we do what we got to do, but goddamn.
Yeah, I do.
I can't say anything because I know what things to where I get on my family gets on my case because it's like if I would say something they would do it, but I'm like I'm used to doing it myself.
Yep. Well, Michael used to do it, and I didn't have to worry about it. But there's
there's no one else you could think of to even like, hey, can you help me? No one you feel comfortable. No one you feel comfortable doing that with.
And there's really no one to really. I don't live in a community where there are people just coming out, and I just don't. I don't. It just is what it is. So if I'm gonna go somewhere, like my book club that I'm in, most of them they're in Atlanta, and I load my chair up on the car by myself. I strap it down. I get in my car. I drive to Atlanta. And then when I get there, one of my friends, well, two of them, Riri will help me, if she's there. But one of my other friends in my book club, really good friend, she's been with me the whole time through cancer. She'll help me get my chair off the car. And then at the end of the day, when we're done, sometimes she helped me put it back on the car. Or sometimes a nice gentleman will come by and say, do y'all need help? Or sometimes I have now gotten to the place where I didn't used to do this, but now I have gotten to the place where I say, excuse me.
There you go.
Are you busy? Could you help me put this chair on the car? And they'll look around like, you do this by yourself? But I can't today. I have bone cancer, and my back is hurting pretty bad. And I got to try to get home, but I need some help. Do you mind helping me? Oh, no, not at all. Thank you so much.
Good. I wish I could high five you right now.
Yep. Because a lot of people
wouldn't open up in their mouths to even say it.
I didn't used to do that either. But
everybody. That's why I would say everybody gets to that tipping point. Everybody's tipping point is different. But when you get there, you realize it ain't that bad as you thought it was gonna be.
It was so bad that I had to have help one time to pump gas in my car when I was on chemo. Yes, yes, y'all. I would get out and go driving. I drove while taking chemo, and then I would have to put gas in my car. Yes. And so I'm trying to put gas in my car, and the fumes of the gas hit me, and I almost passed out. And this man was next to me in the next pump, and he was pumping the gas, and he saw me swaying. He came around and he caught me. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "The fumes, I can't breathe." And so he helped me to get back to the driver's side of my car. and sat me down. And he's like, "Are you all right? What happened?" I said, "I just came from chemo." "You just came from chemo and you're trying to pump gas?" So I don't have anybody else to do it. I don't have anybody else to do it.
Yeah.
We don't have, in the town I live in, we don't have full service gas stations.
Well, don't worry, that's not in a lot of places anymore anyway. Even in the big cities. Those things aren't.
Yep.
I don't think that don't really even exist anymore.
Nope. They do up north.
Wow.
In a few places. But yeah, so I pump my gas.
Yeah, we do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do. And I'm not saying it because I'm looking for somebody to congratulate me or pat me on the back. I'm just telling you what my life is like.
Yeah, it's how you survive. Because there will be times where you'll have the capacity to open your mouth to say, "I need help," but there won't be anybody around. So you got to be that person to help you is sometimes going to be you.
Yeah, you have to advocate for yourself at all times, not just in small places or at the doctor or whatever. No, you have to advocate for yourself at all times. And I do. And I've learned to do that. I've learned to speak up and ask for help and say, "I need help, and can you help me, and do you mind helping me?" And there are a lot of good people in the world. And that's why I tell people, there are so many good people in the world. And they just, a lot of times people just want the ability to help.
To do it.
Yeah.
They never get the opportunity to be like, "Oh, I could do this little bit of positivity," because they see it on Facebook or YouTube, and they never get that opportunity. But when they do, it's like it not only helps that person, but it spreads even through them because it's in them, and they go tell others, and it just goes. It's a chain reaction.
Yep, absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why I don't keep my cancer diagnosis a secret or hide it, or I want people to realize there are so many people that are living with stage 4 cancer, metastatic cancer. There are a lot of us. And we're thriving and we're surviving. But people don't know because no one talks about it. Nobody.
Yeah.
They don't put it out there. They don't put out there the triumphs, the goods and the bads. And you just hear, "Oh, so-and-so died and they had cancer," but I don't want that.
That's all they
I don't
hear.
want that.
Yeah. They don't think about what happens after you hear the diagnosis.
Exactly.
They just think of all what it takes away, but nobody thinks about what it brings. Sometimes it brings the energy, it brings the courage, it brings the strength that you didn't know that you had. It brings it out of you. It brings the faith. It does. Every traumatic, overwhelming tragedy aspect for each individual, because each person is going to have their own versions to where if it's cancer or something else that's going to change their life, how they deal with it and cope with it and learn from it, that's the similarity.
Exactly.
That's where everybody's like, okay, I can relate to what she's saying. I don't have it, but I know that moment, what that expressed, that what happened in that moment in time, I do know how that felt. I know those emotions.
And if we don't if we don't share these stories and these triumphs and the good, how are people
Mm-hmm.
going to? How is it going to be normalized of people living with cancer? Because people are living.
Because everybody, even if, not to cut you off, even those in support groups, everybody don't share. There's a lot of people that just sit there and listen.
Absolutely true. And I want, that's another thing that I want to do with cancer.
What?
I want the support. I want more support for us as Black women and men in cancer. There are not enough spaces, especially when it comes to Black women. And I in therapy, I have learned that I had to take off that cape, that thing of that strong Black woman moniker.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't take anything away from me to take that off.
No, everybody,
But
even the strong need to be weak. They need to reload. They need to rest. They need to put their guards down so that way, because that shield gets heavy. They need to be loved. They need to be supported. Yes, you know that person's always going to be there for you and be your right hand, left hand, be your backbone, everything else. But they got to take care of themselves so they can do it for them and for you.
Exactly.
So that means it's time for you to step up, to give them the ability to rest, to be there.
Exactly.
Because if they don't have the energy to fight that battle, to keep them there, to be there for you, you're going to lose them more ways, in a tragic way, than just them walking away.
Yeah. That's true. I feel like there are, the world of cancer is lacking when it comes to how they treat us as people of color. And by that I mean
it's not just cancer. Because I'm on the flip side with autoimmune disorders and stuff with that aspect. Let's talk about that and being Black. Oh, no. That support system is damn near maybe 5%.
I agree.
Try not to wear that. You do your best to try to not wear out the 5%. Try to make that sucker last as long as possible.
Yep. It's just like,
I understand.
Yeah, I just don't know what needs to be done, but
I think this is a start.
I hope that. Yeah, I hope so, and I hope that my voice can make a change. Like that it.
By every person that listens to your podcast, it's there in their minds, and when it touches them, they're going to speak on it to others. But therefore, the chain reaction begins by speaking out about certain things, aspects of life, the things that swept under the rug or we don't want to show the world. When you bring it up to the light in this era, it's people are listening. People are understanding because people always because there are plenty of people who always wondered what to expect, because there could be somebody who just got diagnosed and they can know, okay, it's not a death sentence. This is how this, person who's going through it. This is like give a guideline emotionally. Each person is different. Help physically, but you can always help mentally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I want. That's what
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
what
I
you
want
do.
to do.
You've been doing
Mhm.
that. You might not have realized it, but you've been doing that.
Yeah, I didn't.
You've been, yeah. So you have a platform, and you use it well.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you. I
welcome.
appreciate that.
Well, what you thought I'm gonna say? No, as many times as I've been on this sucker, of course.
That's true. That's true. You just done made
Mhm.
your home, honey.
Pretty much.
I'm
I'm like,
glad that you made your home. I want everyone that comes on my platform to feel like they're at home.
at
That's
home
I want them
to
to
be
feel like
just like this. I have sitting around having those deep talks,
that. Mhm.
understanding different perspectives of
Mhm.
life that you probably never thought of or
Yeah.
you afraid to think about or afraid to
Mhm.
ask because the topics are scary.
Yes,
But
they are.
they're being there to be open enough to say it. Yeah, that happened. It happened.
Yeah,
I got
it happens.
the diagnosis. I got this,
Mhm.
but look what came out of it. My self-esteem
Mhm.
has been brought up to a whole new level. My
Oh
self-worth is
no.
on the point to where I wish a bank could afford it. There's
Exactly. Right.
there's so many aspects. So yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
there's a
And
lot
it's
to
just like
life.
with anything else. You, you,
There's the
I'm
good, the
sorry, I didn't mean to
bad,
cut you off.
and the ugly.
Yeah,
But it's
exactly.
life.
Mhm. And please don't get me wrong. Like the shit is hard. There, but
Yeah,
it
that's
was
why it's
just
so
like a. It was just
that's
like
why everybody's
today.
scared of
The,
it.
yeah, and it's like
Because
it was like
they
today
see the death of it.
before this show. Like I don't know what the hell happened. Well, yes, I do. I know what happened. So in the midst of me um being on other groups and and Facebook forums and things about cancer and medicine and all kind of stuff, I've come across some really interesting women. I even met a
Yeah.
woman that's over in the UK,
Mhm.
and she has stage 4 breast cancer that has went to her liver like mine is.
Yeah.
Well, I hadn't heard from her, I hadn't seen her post. You know how Facebook is. So I went on her
Yeah.
page to see how she was doing, and she had been in the hospital like right before Christmas, and then her birthday came, and that was in January, and she hasn't
Uh-huh.
posted since.
Mm.
And there's nothing there. And I'm like, I wonder if she
Your
okay.
mind went there.
Yeah. And it hit me. And the
Yeah.
next thing I know, I'm 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 in the fetal position in the middle of my bed, weeping, just weeping.
Mhm.
That's what I did. That's what I did. I cried. I cried.
Yeah. It's
And it's
sad.
okay.
It, it's a sad. It's a sad reality, but the reality we all are gonna go at some point.
Yeah.
A lot of people just wouldn't want it to be because of the cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And to know that it's a probability, because a lot of times the system is not the cancer that'll take you out, it's the effects from it that takes you out.
Yep.
Your body, your heart gets tired, gets weak, or something else. It's a different aspect, and it won't be the cancer that did it. It'll be just your organs. It just your body couldn't fight it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the same thing. It's like if you got in a car accident, if your body is not able to withstand it, your body is going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know. And everybody, when you hear cancer, it's that automatic, oh, it's a death sentence. No, death is a sentence. Cancer isn't. Cancer is just one of the train coats.
Mm-hmm.
That on a long list of trains, like on a rail, there's different categories. That's just one category.
It is. It brings your mortality into question more than what it would have been of what you thought. And I tell people, there have been moments where there has been a time up until recently where I had myself on a time clock.
Yeah.
I got to get this done. I got to get that done. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. Because right now, I'm healthy. Right now, the medicine is working. Right now, I'm okay. I'm good. So when it's not, no.
I definitely understand that one.
And there are a lot of things that I don't share everything with everybody, because if I can't deal with it, how the hell is somebody else gonna deal with it?
Because they might have
process.
They might have the knowledge. This is why, because they might have the knowledge or the wisdom that you need to hear. If you open up, they could be that light that you need.
Sure.
So that's the fear of any part of life. Is the ability to open up, to be vulnerable. Even when you got to be the strongest, but even to be strongest, you still got to be vulnerable. It's a balancing act, and it's not perfect.
No, it is not. So you go, I go to my oncologist and, oh, you're doing really good. But then he'll say, well, if you start having headaches, let me know.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do I, wait a minute. Huh? What are you talking about? Why would I start having headaches? Why is that concerning? Well, this type of cancer can go to your brain. The fuck?
Yeah, they like to do that with the little slip ups. Like, oh, okay. Oh, I thought you knew. And they're like, does my facial expression and me saying what the fuck kind of tell you?
Thank you.
I think the answer will be no.
Yeah, like, so then, and they shouldn't, like, don't, and I told him, I said, is there anything else? Is there anything else that you need to tell me that I need to look for, or that could possibly happen, or that because listen, I don't want you to keep dropping little nuggets on me, because when you do that, like you're a doctor. This isn't. You're not going through
Doctors
this.
always have to give the worst case scenario. They always have to give. They have to do pretty much go and they have to give the worst case scenario sort of where you're be on guard. They do wish, they hope for, like, okay, there are good aspects, or you could do this, but they have to. It's like they tell you about the bad, but they hope for the best.
No.
But they have to get you prepared for the worst.
Just tell me everything that I need to know now. Don't drop little nuggets.
Everybody
don't do that.
Can handle it. Yeah, everybody can handle it, so they got to do it in dosage. Oh, I know you
no,
can.
No, I told him.
I'm just saying.
That's what he said, and I was like, no, don't do that, because now you have me every little ache, every little pain. Every time I get a headache, I have to talk myself out of the fact and hyperventilating to the fact that, oh my God, my cancer is going to my brain. Don't do that. Like, that's not fair.
Yeah. You put the reality back into it for them. Good girl. That's another high five.
If you're doing it to me, you're doing it to other people.
And you're not realizing
that's not fair.
Yeah, when you get to walk out of the office knowing you're okay or whatever, but if you don't pay attention, you're so used to telling it, having to tell it back over and over again, you forget the realization.
Yes.
You're really looking with someone's head right now.
Thank you.
Oh, trust me, I've experienced it. I told you.
I thought you knew.
No, nobody told. I was told one thing. You're telling me something different. I went through a cancer treatment, and I'm thinking, no, I was doing something else, but it was a cancer treatment. Really? What does my facial expression tell you? Yeah. Hello?
Yeah.
I'm like, so let me show you on the monitor. I'm like, that's not what they told me. So they lied to me to make sure I took the treatment.
Mhm.
Okay. I can't wait for this next meeting.
Makes you angry. And not only does it make me angry, it makes me feel like I'm an experiment.
To a degree, you are, because there is no perfect combination of treatment that works on everybody. So to a degree,
no, it's not.
No matter what the element is, you are pretty much to a certain degree a lab rat, because they have to figure out, okay, will this work for this, and will it coincide with what other things that you have to do? And then it's like you got to go through the side effects and stuff. And I'm like, okay, you have to, and that's a mental thing. You got to go through, because it's like, this is not your normal life. Why? This is not what you normally do. This is fun. Like, so you got to go through. Okay, the part you have to get past the part. Okay, I rebuke this, and then you go through the realization. You can rebuke it all you want to, but this is what you need to stay alive.
Exactly. I realize that I realize that I am a lab rat. I get that. And I have long ago accepted that to a certain degree. But it's like I told my primary doctor. I told him, I said, I know that you're giving this combination of drugs hoping that something sticks. And I get that. But I don't want you to treat me like a lab rat. Like, have enough respect for me to know that I'm a person.
That's one thing I tell my doctor. I can accept you saying you don't know. That is fine. Just don't, because you don't know don't come at me like I'm making it up because you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you will see the ignorant black woman come out of me. Because I wouldn't be wasting my time, my money, the energy that I have to come around and for BS.
Thank
to
you.
go smoke up somebody's butt. No. I'm not trying to go through all these treatments. I'm not trying to get zapped for 2 hours or like I'm being on a taser for you to come up with, I don't know what it is. Fine, that's fine. So you have to make it like, that's where we have a problem. Just say you don't know. Either refer to someone else or you don't know what else to do. Those are acceptable situations because it's a give and take. It's like every one thing is not going to show for the other. But that respect level, that's where
that's what it is.
Yeah. Yep. It's like cause there's some of them that they're so consumed with it they detach the realization. Okay, these are humans. So they detach the emotional aspect because they have to give so much negative. So they have their own walls up. I'm like, you can have your wall up and still be respectful.
Exactly.
I'm not going to hit you. I'm not even. There's only that's one. I can't say I won't hit you. There was one person. I did. They had to block my foot. He almost got him.
Now.
Almost got a vasectomy.
I kicked my gynecologist once because it hurt, and I told him that it hurt, and so
they were testing for me. I got tricked. I was thinking I was going for it was something like an EKG. You know where they put the tabs on you. So I was under the assumption that it was going to be similar to that. No, it was me basically being tasered up and down both legs for almost 4 hours.
Oh, Lord.
And he says, "Oh, you're sensitive." I'm like, "Yeah, tase that leg," because they were trying to figure out about the nerve damage.
Yep.
In my leg. And when he realized, okay, yes, sensitive, he hit one because he had to change the volume because the volume gets up to the point to where it's like all you hear is it just gets loud.
Yeah.
And he hit one nerve. That chain reaction to my healthy leg, he went straight for his crotch. He hurt. He was able to duck, pull back before my foot landed on him. So he looked. I guess it's sensitive.
What the world?
And during the rest of that test, that hand stayed on that foot.
I know it did.
He didn't want that vasectomy. He wanted to be able to produce somebody's kid.
He wants them family jewels protected. Yeah. I've had one of those before on one of my legs as well. It's not a comfortable thing at all. It's
it's one thing for not being comfortable, but it's like to realize it's not even close to what you had in your mind, what you was about to do.
It's not. No, it's nothing like a EKG. No.
Yeah. And when the killer part is the guy that did the technician that did it, he didn't document something right. Because I said, he asked if I was like, did I have back pain? I said, majority of the time, yes. He put no. So, of course, you have to go through the insurance. It's like, everything's fine. I'm like, how is it fine? Because I'm like, you put the thing on full blast, and the nerve that you put on, and where I'm supposed to be sensitive, why my leg ain't jumping? They can't answer that question. But when I go to since I work with doctors, At that time, I worked with doctors. I asked one, because I asked that one of the doctors who deals with that. She said, that's not normal. I'm like, thank you. I just need confirmation that, yeah, they were just going for insurance.
That's like I gotta have, I've been having problems with my right leg. And it sometimes when I go to walk, it's like my leg is,
heavy.
I can't move it. I can't pick it up.
Yeah, heavy.
And yeah, it's gotten heavy. And so now I told my oncologist about it, and he said, "Well, have you been having any pain?" I said, "Yeah, it was one of the first things that alerted me that something was wrong." And now he's wanting me to have nerve damage. He wants me to go and have a test to see if I have some nerve damage. Yeah.
And see, I already went through that once. I'm like, I don't know if I need to go through that twice.
I'm not looking forward to
it. Yeah. I'm like, they should have lied better.
They should. I went to vascular. I've had a vascular thing done on my arm because my arm was swollen, and my doctor wanted to make sure that it didn't have anything to do, because at that time I was still getting chemo, and he wanted to make sure it didn't have anything to do with that. So now, if they go do the vascular thing with the little ultrasound and all that, I could deal with that. But but that other crap.
That pays the thing now.
No,
I'm sure it didn't. I'm sure it didn't last 2 hours. It just felt like 2 hours, but no, 2 hours still sticks in my head.
Yeah, I felt like that the last time I went and had my PET scan. I know it didn't take 2 hours, but my God.
When they put that
being stuck in that machine. Now that's another thing.
When they put that cage thing around, clocking over your head, I'm like, okay, really?
Oh no, that's radiation.
Oh, I'm like, my eyes.
Yeah, that's radiation.
I'm just like, no matter what, I'm like, my eyes are closed.
PET scan is like is a CT, but it does your whole body. But they didn't have. A lot of times I've seen that net thing, like what you're talking about, when people have.
I don't know. I've done both, and I still see more in my future.
Well, that's the next thing that I want to talk about is having scans. They call it in the cancer world, they call it scaniety, like anxiety. They call it scaniety because you have anxiety before you have your scan.
You could call it being black, because it's always different.
No, call it being scanned, being fat and black.
That too. It's always different. Excuse me.
Very much so. The last time that I had to go get scanned, my oncologist said the test came back inconclusive, and have you gained weight? And I said, listen, yes, I've gained weight. And it's not because of me. I said, my weight gain that I have now is not because of me eating. I eat
I
maybe
know.
1 to 2 meals a day. I told him, I said, if you put me in menopause and I can't get any hormone therapy, so my body is just haywire. So I
Yeah.
told him, I said, okay, listen, let me just go to Emory. I'll just go to Emory and have, from now on, I'll go to Emory and have my PET scans done. And he was like, was that where you had one? Yeah, I had 2 of them done at Emory when I was at Emory. So
Yeah.
that's what I had to do. So yeah, let's talk about being fat, black, and getting scanned.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think the last one I did is when they had to put all the things on my head. I'm like, oh, good Lord. And of course, I'm like, and then of course, what they were looking for, I'm like, it's not happening now, so it's not going to show. So I'm like, oh, great. So I got to do this crap again.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And the thing about these PET scans, everywhere you go, every hospital is different.
Yep.
So the last time I had my PET scan done in January, I had to drink the contrast.
Ooh. Was it really sweet?
No. And then he says, oh, well, it has banana flavor, and you can get banana, you can get strawberry or vanilla. I would suggest the vanilla because it doesn't leave an aftertaste.
No, I always had them
So
put it in my IV. I always had to, no matter, they always had issues putting
they do that
IV. Mm-hmm. Oh, but when they can't get the IV, so it's like everybody gotta come in and do this. I'm like, why does somebody get an IV? Because somebody blew a vein, and the rest of my vein said, hell no, they don't trust y'all no more.
Mm-hmm. Now, one thing I do like about down at Kennestone Hospital is that they will come in, if they can't get your veins, they will come in with the machine.
Yeah. So they can find that nerve.
And then they'll do, the finder thing, and they'll find a vein like that. And I'm like, thank you. Why don't most people, why don't other hospitals?
Because they think
Instead of
they can get it, or somebody's using the machine.
No, they just don't want to do it. A lot of hospitals don't want to do it because it costs too much damn money to get that little machine. But
that's true. But some of them, they'll have it, but they won't have one on every floor. So that's why I'm like, they'll have it, but it's not on that floor.
The hospital here in my town, they don't even have it.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. And then you have to get a PICC line put in.
Ooh, the fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you love the little scars? No matter how you can look at your skin and say, I remember that.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yes. And I had a dude put a PICC line in my arm when I was in the hospital in 2021. And the night nurse came on third shift, and she was giving me some medication. She was giving me some pain meds, and she was giving it to me in the IV. You know that whole damn PICC line came out of my arm?
Ouch.
First of all, she shot it up, and then the medication just blew up my arm.
Yeah, she didn't.
Because it wasn't going into the needle.
Yeah, she didn't. Yeah, she didn't do it. I keep a photo gallery. It's like, well, not just a gallery, a photo journal, I should say, when it comes to my health. So it's like when there's things procedure stuff that I'm going through, and it's just as flat out, you wouldn't believe me unless I had the photo proof. I just started doing. That was like I had to hit the because when I was had to deal with during COVID, being in the hospital.
Mm.
I had to hit
Mhm.
the nurse like, I need someone to come help with my IV. My arm looks like a Flintstone drumstick. And they just start giggling
Wow.
like, okay. And the nurse comes in, Miss Kids, what are you couldn't even finish the sentence. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. My arm is already big.
Mhm.
Why is it plumped up like a drumstick from the Flintstones?
Exactly. Exactly.
Because
And that's
they found out the medication that they were giving me, because I had IVs in both arms.
Ooh.
The medication in that arm blew the vein out. It wasn't the IV, it's the medication. So I'm like, yeah. So of course, before you guys, I took a picture. Like, when this is over with, I'll send it to you. It's funny. Because people always say I'm just being sarcastic, because I always say a Flintstone drumstick. I'm like, no, my arm looked like the drumstick that they gave that damn dino pet. For a snack.
Yeah, I believe you. Michael used to do the same thing. I have so many, like, when he would go in the hospital and they would give him an IV or something like that. And the last 2 times before COVID, he had to go in the hospital. They bruised him up so bad, and they gave him a what do they call that damn thing when they get the blood out of your wrist? Air gas.
Ooh.
And he was so mad. He was so mad. And
what is it called? Like people
me,
who had not to cut you off. Well, that when COVID was bad, they only want only people who are, what was the term that they used, to go out. Everybody else to stay in the house. I cannot think of it. Like, we are the valuable people, or what it. I cannot think of the term
essential.
Yeah, essential. Oh, yeah. I have a picture for that. This is what they, over here in Houston, this is what they do to the essential people. When I say my chubby cheek face was 3 times my normal face. Thank you. I can I not be essential?
That's what I never understood. What made who essential and who wasn't? Because if you had
people who work in healthcare, they're like, mainly if you work in healthcare, because they didn't really want people in buses. Not when it got really bad, so they were shutting a lot of stuff down. But like if you worked in the hospitals, nursing homes, so like that's what like all the grocery stores, those for like just essential needs, to where the grocery stores they would only let like maybe 10 people at a time until they count all of them gone, so that way they can bring more people in and do things like that, or how they would do delivery, but there was only pickup, to where it's just like they would put it in the trunk. They ain't going nowhere near the back seat. But yeah, when it came to those type of, that's what they meant by essential. And unfortunately, I was a nurse aide, so I was essentially screwed.
Yeah, that COVID, that stuff was.
Yeah, but it brought to like so much stuff for me. I'm just like, how can you be that stupid? I would see some coworkers to where, what judgment? Where is your brain? You have more insight than the normal person because we're around people who are dealing with COVID, who are dying from COVID or have died.
Mm-hmm.
So we have more insight than the normal person that all they have is what they see on the TV screen.
Mm-hmm.
And you decide, oh, you're not going to get vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
While you're working around in a building where there's COVID. We've already lost patients and coworkers have died from COVID. And you don't want to believe the hype, even though you see it.
Mm-hmm.
And the COVID shot, as everybody explains, even it's like the flu shot. There's gonna be some years you'll feel the side effects from a flu shot, and other times you won't.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's the flu. It's a vaccine. That's what that kind of goes with the shot. But you got that choice, or as you see, the other choice is not taking. And this one coworker chose not to, got herself sick, her children sick, husband sick. I'm like, are you really? And I'm like, how do you want people to feel sympathy? Lord, strength.
Yeah, I don't know. It thinking when you do that, you get COVID and you don't really know where you get it, and then you give it to other people around you.
Now, when I initially got sick, it was during COVID. It was, the doctors called it a super virus. My super virus was created because we had to create a COVID unit. So we had to move our isolation patients to a different hall until we make room for them. And unfortunately, isolation patients, the key word, isolation. This is where I was working at, was a small building. So they put 4 different isolations in one room.
Oh, shit.
And of course people are like, I don't know what you doing it. So I would get called, and if I want an insubordination on my file, sure, I say no. I'm just like, 2 of the people I don't have to touch. There's one that's like very, very rarely needs assistance, but there are 2 that are total care. They need to be touched. So I'm thinking, like, okay, get in, do what I got to do, and get out, take the so-called PTE, a.k.a. trash bag, off of me, and be done. No, didn't know I had an autoimmune disorder. So every one of those infections created a super infection. And with that super infection caused an exit wound. It built up to a point where it was going through my body to where it decided it needed to make an exit wound. And that was fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
So that meant 3.5 months bed rest. But I was like, okay, I knew what to do. I knew, like, having to rotate so many hours. I can sit up for like maybe a couple of hours out of the day, all that kind of stuff. But my problem was, after I thought it healed, I was like, okay, fine. No. I started getting complications from it. So even though the wound healed, the issue from all the viruses, it's still, my body hasn't finished absorbing all that crap. So, next thing you know, I have arthritis. I'm like, what the hell? I have this arthritis, I have this. And then this is starting to do, then this is like, what on earth? So it's like it's still going through. And I'm just like, then while I'm dealing with all that, then I caught COVID.
Oh, no.
Exactly. Oh, sorry, that's the neighbor's dog. I can't hide from that sucker.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. You're all right. Wow. I remember my mom had she had a virus. It was an infection, and it had an exit wound, and it was so deep when it made it.
Mm-hmm.
It had to be packed and
Yep.
debrided. It had to be debrided.
Yes, they did that because when I got sick with that, this was when it was at its highest level. The hospital was full of COVID. That's why I had double IVs in each arm because they're trying to hurt, so get me out of the hospital. So they did the debriefing stuff. I had to, and you talking about you lifting your wheelchair. I had to do the packing myself. There was nobody, and I work in healthcare. No, I couldn't get nobody to help me with that. I had to do it myself.
Oh God, that's painful.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
You just never know what somebody, when you look at a person, what they're going through or what they've been through,
Yeah, that's why I say when it comes to that's why I say when you tell stuff about your cancer, I'm like, no, have I been diagnosed with cancer? No. Have I had I have the crap that turns things into cancer, so I went through that treatment to try to get rid of it before it became cancer.
Yeah.
So I've dealt with that aspect, but it's still, even though I'm on a far end side of a cancer diagnosis, I know what it feels like when your life was one way, and then all of a sudden it's like tornadoed, and it's something completely different now. So
it'll never be the same. It'll never be the same again.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's one thing I tell people. It's like, you got to think about it. And when it snowed here in Texas and in Houston, to where it was ice packed, snowed everywhere, I was my normal worker, bending over, dealing with hard-headed residents and doing, feeding them, feeding the staff, doing all that stuff, and then not even 4 months later, I can't even bend down.
Wow. Wow. It's amazing. Learn all that stuff over again.
The mental aspect, people got to overcome, but it's always brushed under.
It is.
That's one thing about this era in life now. People are more to the point of not hiding it. It's more dealing with it. It's shown that it's okay to be able to admit you're dealing with something.
Exactly. And that's a good thing. I believe that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Well,
it should always be that way.
It should be. Well, we're going to have to end the show. This was a good discussion.
Way past
I don't want us to get cut off. I don't want it to cut us off, but thank you for helping me along the way with this. I really appreciate it.
I can always tell you, I got you. Just always listen. Just hit me up.
All righty. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Thank you, y'all, for listening to another episode of Night Talks with Sasha. This is my special guest, Miss Deidre Gibbs of HPS Magazine. I am your girl, your diva, Sasha. I want y'all to have a great weekend. Enjoy your Sunday. It's going to be cold. It's supposed to be cold tonight in Georgia. So wrap up a little bit, turn the heat on. Yeah, go outside still, put on a coat, and enjoy yourself. Go get grounded. It's good for you. I did today. I didn't hug a tree though, but I went out into the sunshine. So
Yay.
that's a good thing. But anyway,
Uh-huh.
you all have a great weekend, and we will be back next week. We're taking a day. I'm taking Friday off. It's going to be Easter weekend, so we're taking that day off. And I will be back April the 5th, and we will have special guest Marquesha Dudley, and she will be talking about her two businesses. And after that, we will have Unique from Juicy Peaches. So, have a great weekend, and see you later.
Peace.